Heat Seekers, we are back with the Week 2 running back rankings in tier format. Saquon Barkley's back, baby. Where does he finish up? Stay tuned. Here in tier 1, I am so stoked. I told you guys last week I really wanted to put Barkley in there, but I knew we had to see a little bit, and he did not disappoint. He's all the way up to number 2 for me. We saw him here early in his career. He was the running back 1 or running back 2 with him and CMC. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor, who is number 1 again for me, has joined that picture. But Saquon looked like the Saquon of old. We loved it, rushing, receiving. I think he's going to do more of that as the season progresses. I'm just stoked to see him back. He's one of my favorite talents in the NFL. Rounding out this tier 1, obviously we talked about Taylor. CMC, the pass catching work wasn't there like we like to see. I hope that changes going forward. But still, even in a down CMC game, right around 15 points. There's a pretty good floor here with Christian McCaffrey. Rounding out the rest of this, DeAndre Swift, man, looked really good and only had 3 receptions, almost 10 yards per carry on the week. If he's going to get that type of rushing work and we expect him to get more receiving work, his fantasy value is going to be just huge going forward. So it's good to see that. Let's see it continue. But for now, he's the last guy in tier 1. Going into tier 2, Joe Mixon's at the top. Good offense. They turned the ball over a lot in week 1, but Mixon looked good. Had a little scare where he left the game, but he came back in. So no worries there. But Joe Mixon is going to be a beast. If he can continue to get some more pass catching work, he's gonna move up into the tier 1 at some point this season. Then right below him, Javonte Williams. Wow. What was it? 12 targets, 11 receptions, look good on the ground, just looks like a way better running back than Melvin Gordon, who didn't necessarily look bad, but Javonte just looks damn good. And I expect him to continue to get more and more work as the season progresses and to usher Melvin Gordon out into a way smaller role. Some other guys in here, people are going to be surprised probably, but Derrick Henry all the way down here. I don't know how much you watched of the game. Henry was very inefficient early on. This is something that has been a trend over the past 3 years of him dropping inefficiency. He's not going to get the 29 carries that he had last year. Dontrell Hilliard is the pass catching back in Tennessee. Obviously, he had 2 touchdowns in week 1. We don't expect that to continue, but that is his role with the team. Henry only had 1 target in week 1. He's not going to get that target work. And if he's going to be inefficient and he's not going to get 30 touches, then he's got to move down my list here. We'll see. Nick Chubb's kind of the same thing, except for he's more efficient, but definitely catches a lot less and less touchdown upside in the Browns offense, I think, right now. That could improve as the season goes on. But for PPR, I want to see some more receptions out of Nick Chubb. James Conner left off where he was last year with getting red zone work and touchdowns. Looks like he's going to have another good touchdown output this season. For me, Antonio Gibson was the surprise of week 1. It wasn't that he played and got a lot of run, but that he got targeted a ton in the passing game. And if he's going to continue to get that while Brian Robinson's out and he can not fumble, he can earn a role even when Robinson returns. But for this week, we've got to have him up there in tier 2 because he's getting the rushing work. He's getting the receiving work. That's the type of workload that we like to see from our running backs. Down here in tier 3, I've been saying all off season, I love CEH in this KC offense at his draft price. A lot of people were way down on him after playing injured, missing some time with injury last year. And right off the bat, scoring some touchdowns through the passing game, getting most of the work. Pacheco did look good in a role, but did he have that because they were up big time, or is he going to continue to eat into the rushing work? Not sure yet, but in tier 3, I feel pretty good about CEH. Another surprise in tier 3 is Najee Harris. He left with injury. We're not exactly sure. Reports are coming back that it's negative and that he should be fine. Still inefficiency, not as many receptions likely for him. We got to see him get healthy or produce as is before I'm willing to move him up higher in my ranking. Cordarrelle Patterson, right where he left off last year, just running the ball like a madman. Didn't even get a lot of receiving work. I expect that to improve. And if he keeps getting that rushing work, Damian Williams left early. Tyler Algier was a healthy scratch, I believe. If he's going to get all that work, he is going to be super valuable, and he's probably going to be moved back up into the 2 tier. We want to see that continue after the inconsistencies of usage at the end of last year. Right below him, Miles Sanders. The running back's got a lot of run and a lot of touchdown equity for Philadelphia this past week, but Miles Sanders, once again, looks good. Let's get some more work, move up into tier 2. That's what we need. Let's get down here into tier 4, and my boy, James Robinson. This guy is good, and it's amazing to see him come back and just hit the ground running like he was before his injury last year. I know everybody wants Travis Etienne to be the guy. He got some good receiving work, and it didn't work out in week 1 of Etienne's season, but James Robinson just looked like a good running back, and it's a little surprising because we expected a period of time for him to get back up to game speed and into game health, and he just came into the game and did what James Robinson does. And another big surprise here, everybody heard it all off season. Michael Carter's the number 1. Breece Hall is relegated to the backup for now, and Michael Carter came out and produced in week 1 as the number 1 running back for the Jets. Again, this isn't something that I expect to see continue, and it's going to be hard to feel good about putting Michael Carter in there on any given week because at some point, Breece Hall is going to get the workload, and it's going to be a slap in the face for Michael Carter managers. He's definitely going to be in the flex spots right now, but when does that happen? When does Breece Hall take over? Maybe Michael Carter continues to produce and holds them off for the majority of the season. Who knows? Right now, I don't feel any more comfortable moving him higher than tier 4. Jeff Wilson's in here because of the injury to Elijah Mitchell. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Is he going to be the guy? Is he going to hold off TDP and Mason? Or will the 49ers do something different? We never know with this running group, but right now, Jeff Wilson is the guy penciled in to start and get the most touches. So he is the one that gets into tier 4 for us here in week 2. Down here in 5, we've got Breece Hall that we already talked about. We've got the running backs from the Patriots who were basically evenly split on touches throughout the game. And Damian Harris ended up coming out on top from a fantasy perspective. But right now it's looking hard to tell from week to week which one's going to be the guy. And if that offense isn't any better, then, there's not a lot of fantasy production to feel good about in this backfield. Jamal Williams should probably be up higher, to be honest with you, but we want to see it. If Swift's going to get that many carries, what does that leave for Jamal Williams on a consistent basis from week to week? Obviously, good week 1. I think it was 16 fantasy points, and the guy finishes as a top 36 running back almost every year. Jamal Williams in here right now, I think, is a fine flex play if you have to go there. Hopefully you don't, but Jamal Williams rounds out our tiers for week 2. Thanks for tuning in to the week 2 running back ranking video. If you love the content, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. You can find the waiver playlist here, and if you click that, you can sub, and then you can see our live shows on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.